Hello everyone, just doing a quick video for fun. As some of you guys might have noticed, the Lay Series Store Championships has been announced. And we're just going to have a little discussion because the rules are a little bit different. It's not the standard constructor format we're used to. It's more of a block format where they're only allowing set 10 cards, starter deck exclusives, promos from the tournament packs, the pre-release promos, and the what's it called, the premium edition promos. They're not even going to allow championship pack cards. Event pack cards aren't allowed, and even the Unison expansion that came out prior to set 10 isn't going to be allowed. So for anyone who wants to use that Unison Vegeta as a bomb, yeah, it's not going to work out for you since it's not allowed. So it puts us in an interesting situation. Who knows if Bandai is going to do more level 2 or higher events with these rules. But to me, it looks kind of like they're testing the waters for set rotation. So it's kind of nice. In terms of the argument being good for new players, I don't 100% agree with that, and we're going to slightly go over that. I'm not going to go over each color and how to build a deck today. I'll probably do different videos divided into colors, but basically in this format, blue has 4 leaders: the Trunks, sorry for the Shadow, Zamasu, the pre-release promo Goku, and the starter deck Vegito. Green has a starter deck Frieza, and the set it has the Goku and the Ginyu. Black has a starter deck Vegix. Red has Yamcha and Pilaf, and yellow has Sin Shenron and Gotenks. In terms of people thinking, oh, okay, I'll just pick up 2 starter decks, same type, and I can play in this event, you cannot. So the reason for that is the only cards on starter decks allowed are cards from BT10 or the starter deck exclusive. So if you look, this is just one starter deck. This isn't even when you get, this isn't even the buy 2. So that's 50 cards. But you can see I divided it here. Of that Vegix starter deck, these are the only cards allowed. Granted, you can double that for some of these cards, like the exclusives, but overall, you actually don't have a lot of cards. A bulk of that deck is cards from previous sets. And so worth mentioning, there is no black super combo for this set. So essentially you'd be running a different color super combo just as a 10k if you want it. So keep that in mind. Not even like no Champa double strikes in this set. That's pretty relevant. The other thing that's relevant is a lot of negates are not going to be available. So pardon the glare on this peel off, by the way. So a lot of rares are not going to be available. A lot of negates aren't going to be available. So blue, for example, everyone loves blue. It's a pretty cool color. It has some strong stuff, but a main bomb of blue is a boony. The main ways to survive is Dimension Magic, Senzu Bean. None of that's allowed with this format. So blue actually has a lot less ability to stall. That being said, it does have one of the actual proper negates in set 10. So that could be a reason to go into that. But we're not going to say specifically each color and how to build it right now, like I said before. If we look at green, you could look, oh, same thing, what if I just do the starter deck? Well, it's a lot more cards. So you're on your way to a deck, actually. You just need a few more set 10 cards or some tournament pack cards, and you'd have a full deck. But you miss out on that. So once again, a lot of negates are gone. Cold Bloodlust is gone. Even though I was at 1, that's still relevant. But there are a lot of other good things that negate abilities in set 10. That being said, a lot of the proper negates are close to proper negates are at the super rare rating and in set 10, so it kind of messes with you. And then we could look at the Vegeta one, be like, what can I do with that? A good amount, less than the Frieza deck, but you can run a lot of the cards. It's also worth mentioning a lot of these cards also work with the Trunks deck, so you can actually play either leader with that deck. But once again, you can see why there's Dimension Magic gone, Senzu Bean's gone, Obuni's gone. So you're not going to enjoy that as much. You do gain access to a nice Unison card if you are going into the Soul Strike reboot. Next we'll go over the SCRs. So yes, the SCR Sen Shinron that you get from the event you can use. So hey, any Sen player can throw it in their deck right away. Other than that, I mean, if you got the Gogeta, you're going to play this set. There's not really going to be any splashing. So you go ham if you have it. If not, the other ones are a little bit weaker. But let's just quickly go over this. So, what about Unison? We don't have access to the Vegeta or the Gotenks. So for Red, you're going to have your Super Rares, your Vegito, your Shenron, your Sen Shenron, and your Uncommon. So for most people, they're going to have their Uncommon, because we got to think about it this way: anyone who doesn't have this format ready, you're going to have 4 copies of your Uncommon. So we can quickly just look at each color's Uncommon, just to say, what if I have to play something? So yellow is really bad off in terms of without their rares. Honestly, the green one's not bad, especially for early pressure. But the green also has guaranteed access to the Frieza one. So either way, green has a Unison set. Next, blue. This is just for the Trunks, really. So basically, honestly, both for the Trunks or the Vegito deck. So kinda Zamask gets screwed, because you need the SCR Zeno in order to actually use the Moss if you were going to. But like I said, it's an awkward situation for blue. One thing worth mentioning though is blue is one of the few colors that can actually use the multicolor cards of this set, while the others can't really use them properly because you're not splashing colors as much. Realistically, just a ditch from hand while the others are play, and you can ditch it for 1 blue. So you gain access to that. Black only has 1 real option, technically 2. They do have access to the Shinron, but the thing with the Shinron is it's more for a skillless deck, which this set is not meant for. One thing, although the Vegex is lacking a card pool, since you mill through a lot of your deck, it's okay if a lot of your deck is trash anyway. So they kind of have that advantage. So I would still say just get all the black cards and get a Vegex deck if you want to try to steal wins at these type of things. But in terms of actual deck, green has a decent start with the Frieza deck, and then you just need some of the set 10 cards. Blue has some support, but all the things that make blue actually win games are non-existent in this format. Red is interesting because there's some Yamcha support, but really a lot of the high power cards are Pilaf support. That's why he's shining over here. So realistically, Pilaf is the way to go with red in this format. It's also worth mentioning it essentially has a 2 mana 3/15Ks, which is hard to deal with this format. So that's serious card advantage in this format. Your opponent, essentially not to take those hits, is discarding 1 for each one. And you pay 2 mana for it. They didn't come from hand, they came from deck. For yellow, realistically, you could go either way. That being said, you do need a lot of super rares for this end deck, and rares. But it's definitely strong and still has decent control. Yeah, you don't have Nimbus, you don't have Draw Apes, you don't have Bardock, you don't have Bergamo, so a lot of your finishers are gone, but that actually hurts Gotenks more than Sin. Gotenks really relied on those yellow strong cards. So even though, yeah, there's cool Gotenks fusion stuff in the set, it's a lot weaker than the Sin deck. So really, we're looking at, for yellow, Sin as the main deck. And you can make a 50 card deck with the stuff from the set. Peel Off, which you can easily make a 50 card deck with the stuff from the set. Vegex, which is just going to be a whole bunch of garbage with your key black cards, and you're going to steal games. Green is interesting. So with green, there is actually a lot of support for the Goku. So as strong as it is, you are really looking at a lot of cards from other sets. So it's looking at Ginyu and the Frieza. The Ginyu barely doesn't make a 50 card deck, so you actually end up putting in like Frieza chain stuff for just garbage. So when it comes down to that, you're actually better still going with the starter deck Frieza. When we come here to blue, like I said, it's probably a trap because you don't have any of the cards that make blue great. If I really had to pick one, I think Zamasu generates more card advantage than the others, but does not have as ready access to a proper unison. So that's its weakness. Really, if you have this, you've got the unison for it. If you got the star deck, you've got unison for this, and the other one for them is uncommon. So it's, if you can just buy all the cards you want, yeah, you can make the Zamasu one. But at the end of the day, it's still going to be weaker than any of the other colors. So even though blue has 4 leaders, I'd say avoid unless it's just your favorite deck. So that's essentially what I wanted to go over. Just let people know, in case you weren't really thinking about the format, you can't just look at the metadata of what's been going on, because there's a lot of cards used outside of the decks. Even red has like Topo and Exploding Venus Vegeta that can't be used. All of the sparking negates are out, so it definitely hurts a little bit. But if you just take your time, analyze the format, you'll do well. Especially with how few negates are in the format. I'd recommend something lower to the ground, or even it send cheats out on like turn 2. So even though it's a control deck, it'll be fine. Blue really is the one that's behind, because it's like a turn 4, turn 5 game for it, which is not when you want to start playing this game in this format. Good luck, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your store championships, and just keep in mind we're probably going to see more tournaments with this rule set, and don't be surprised if we start seeing a set rotation in the future, because although it looks like it's just a fun thing for the players, the fact that they reset the number count for the sets back to 1, the fact that they went back to a mono and lowered the power level a little bit in this set, are signs that they're going for that set rotation. And I probably should have opened the video with all that set rotation discussion more, but whatever. For people who stayed till the last minute, y'all can hear some of that reasoning. Bye everyone, enjoy.